Hi there, folks, and welcome to TV Tune.
The date is 420, and the year 420. A man's time is coming to an end. Shattered remnants of humanity have gathered their dwindling resources to send the TV tuners back in time to the year 2024 to record a podcast about the end of Evangelion. If they succeed, then a final hope yet remains for humanity. But if they fail, then all of our futures die. TV Tuners 2024-20, the end of Evangelion.
Hi there, folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast, usually, for the true fanatics. It's a weekly dive in the latest in TV news and reviews. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and this teenager disgusted with himself, Stairmaster.
I'm just gonna sit here. And
you gotta bring about the end of humanity. Can't sit there.
I don't want to.
Actually, you could just sit there and it'll just happen. With us, as always, of course, our other co-host and dad, who's getting up to some crazy stuff. He's feeling ladies and losing arms.
Also known as Quattro Vagina.
Kiorein.
Hello, I've created a thing. Welcome to my domain.
You sure have, buddy. You did that a lot, huh?
Folks, Keo did not watch Evangelion, the television series.
And with us, of course, for this special journey that we're on, is our special guest and new series of Eva, Geo.
Hey everybody, I'm 4 movies, and I'm very grateful to be here.
Oh, you meant the mass production Evas.
Yeah.
I did mean those, but also you could be rebuilt to Evangelion if you want.
Oh, I'd rather not. They're vastly not as chill.
This is our big special here, our celebrating the grand holiday itself.
Yeah.
That's not a good joke.
No.
Okay. Celebrate.
That's not a good joke either.
That's right.
Is this why you guys lost your sponsors like 5 years ago?
Celebrating.
Stop it.
This is why Mr. Big Head wants nothing to do with us.
What? What bad things keep happening? Oh, wait, that was a... Sorry.
Yeah, get it right, alright? No, of course we're celebrating 420 the only way that you could, which is by watching End of Evangelion. Before we get into like the whole deal here, which is talking about the movie, I feel like we should all discuss our personal experiences with the franchise Evangelion. Let's start with our guest, Geo.
How very polite of you. Thank you very much. Well, what a great question. So I probably watched all of Evangelion in a shot in like 2017 or so. During a time where I was like struggling with a whole lot of like really bad anxiety problems. And something about the show, I really deeply connected with it. It was a really beautiful show that seemed to express certain, like, not really cognitive thoughts so much as like emotional states that I haven't really seen expressed in many other works in any medium. So I really dug that fucking series. And I jumped right into End of Eva afterwards at the time, and I thought it was beautiful in like a terrible beautiful kind of way. I was really taken aback with it. So I guess that's my background. And then, ever since 2020, I've been writing emails to this podcast to do a 420 End of Evangelion special. And they haven't done it until now because they're running out of ideas. And I'm really grateful for that. So what about you, Keo? Where have you started with Evangelion?
I've been told that this was a great anime product that I should watch. I think somebody showed me an episode or two, and I was like, all right, that was something. And then I went on with my life. And now I'm told that 420 is coming up, and I'm supposed to watch End of... Is it Evangelion or Evangelion, guys? What's the story there? Can you explain that to me?
That's right.
Yes.
Hard J.
There you go.
Hard J, baby. Yeah, and that is what we do every 420 here in Colorado, ever since we founded this state in 1920.
It's true, yeah. Now, so Kyo, you just you watched this and you celebrated and you had a good time, right?
No.
You saw nothing.
You mean no?
You saw nothing Evangelion related before this, besides the
like
OP.
not even by cultural osmosis.
Not even one episode on.
It did surprise me, man. Because as far as I understand it, Kyo, you are a certain anime connoisseur, aren't you?
No, I've been exposed to this product in the past. I think I've seen like the first episode, like
right.
a bunch of like long time ago.
It'd be like if you haven't heard
I've seen plenty of anime materials of the characters posted on the internet as well.
I believe a certain figure in our circle made us watch a couple of episodes for movie night. Kiorein.
Yes, friend of the podcast, Sroll, made us watch a couple, which is how I'm familiar with Evangelion.
And
but like Kyo, I have not watched the whole series.
Apparently I'm the only other person in here who's watched the whole series. Which I did back in 2013. I was like, or 2012, and I was like, there's a lot I can learn from this. And then I didn't act on any of those lessons for another couple of years.
Is that why you're so emotionally broken? Is because you finished a series?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean that's sort of our background in the world of Evangelion. Now, before we get into the little deal here, Geo, you made us aware of a theater experience.
Oh yeah,
for Evangelion.
That only you went to.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want to burst your bubble, but I'm pretty sure you were the only one who saw it in theaters.
And not only that, but I literally went there alone. First movie I've ever seen alone.
Oh, hey, listen, it's a good time.
Oh yeah.
If you're going to a movie by yourself, you know.
Have you guys done that before?
The first movie I ever saw alone was Man of Steel.
I've technically only done it twice, but it's sort of a mixed bag experience altogether because the first time I saw a movie by myself was when I saw Black Panther, and that was fine. It was all right. It was a good time.
That's a little sad.
And then the second time that I saw a movie by myself was when I saw the last... Was it the last one? Yeah, I think it was the last James Bond movie, which wasn't great, but also was a fun experience just to see in a theater, so that was fine.
That's excellent. What about you, Kyo? Are you the only one here that hasn't, popped your sad alone man in the theater cherry here?
Yeah, I've never been to the movie theater by myself. So it's always somebody dragging you to the theater.
Well, I was last Sunday, because it turned out, for some fucking reason, they put that movie in theaters the very same year we finally got around to doing this show. And it was pretty great. I mean, the film is certainly written with a cinematographic.
Cinema terrific.
It's a very cinematic movie, which is a silly sentence to say. Yeah, but certain shots, like Asuka battling the mass production Evas, that big old Stay Fuffed man when he falls over and knocks over a tidal wave of blood, pretty much most of the animation is absolutely awe-dropping to see on a big screen, and it all does have a huge scale that really communicates that way. But unfortunately, there's only a fucking...
No, keep going.
I want to hear what you said, Stan.
I can wait. I was like, no, this should not. I should let my friend speak.
Next time I'll keep my friend stare. But unfortunately, it was a fucking it was a sub, not a dub, which I historically thought was like the superior thing. But instead, I just spent my whole eye time like reading the words at the fucking bottom of the screen. Like, imagine some of the shit that happens in the back half of this movie where dialogue's constantly happening, and like reading the dialogue while watching the screen. It's really fucking hard. And not only that, but actually I'm really blown away by the dub actors now that I've heard both versions. I think the actors we get on the English cut are like very talented and very evocative, and I really liked them. But
there's one guy who kind of took me out of it though. Like,
which one?
This one guy in the this one guy in the control rooms just sounded like he was a bit off to me.
Oh, you mean the guy voiced by Dio?
Black Sabbath Dio?
No.
He was like I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know the voice actor's name. I just thought one of them sounded weird.
Was the guy in the glasses?
No, it's a long-haired guy.
He's a non-important background character who was just in the room looking at screens.
The guy who's like Job John. That sort of, the guy with the long hair who doesn't really do anything.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if you guys agree with me then, because I...
Well, yeah,
I don't know who you're talking about, so it's hard for me to infer.
Well, I'm saying, if you had my experience with this voice actor watching the movie with a dub, then you would agree.
The guy with the black mullet.
What do you know him from?
Well, he voiced Dio in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He also voiced Colonel Zex Marquis in Gundam Wing.
I'm going to go and guess that Kio's not talking about the guy who voiced Dio.
I thought you said Ronnie James Dio.
In English, he was voiced by Pariah Vic Magnolia.
Yes. Now I feel like Kio. When anybody says a name.
That's the guy who had the lawsuit because some people at Funimation said he was being a sex pest, so he tried to sue Funimation.
Ooh.
That's terrible.
And it became a culture war.
Let me sue you before you can get to me type of deal?
Yeah. No. He was trying to get genuine revenge.
Oh. But so this was a good terrific experience for you.
Oh yeah, it was phenomenal.
With films like Tom Cruise in them, you can't lose.
Honestly, they might have had the crossover set just a little too low, a little too high. Pretty much the whole show was going to the sub, a little too high, I guess. But it was a great experience. I'm glad I saw it in theaters alone with 2 hours of my life and $14 of my hard-earned money.
Yeah, I didn't have to worry about the subtitles because this is like the 15th time I've seen this film.
Dude, there's stuff to pick up, though. Like, if you ever try really hard to watch that slideshow shit at the end.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of imagery in there. We're going to get there when we get there, but I've seen things in those pictures, Stairmaster.
Yeah, it's so deep. When you think about it, End of Evangelion is sort of like the Char's counterattack of movies.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, because this is like the only good animated movie. But I knew you'd mentioned Char's counterattack.
Hey, buddy, watch your tone.
Yeah?
Yeah, you better watch yourself. Just because this is your special.
One thing, I will say the one thing that Char's counterattack has going for it is that it doesn't get completely incomprehensible until the very end.
Oh, yeah?
Well, without Char's counterattack, you don't have this movie. Like, so much of the DNA. In a sense, that movie is basically like the Lilith.
Expand on that.
To this film's humanity, and Space Runaway Ideon is the Atom.
Right, expand on that.
Well, there's a lot of thematic overlap between Char's counterattack and End of Evangelion. They're both centered around a man who has basically swallowed the black pill, if you will, who's basically given up on the innate goodness of mankind and is trying to commit this massive act of annihilation, while at the same time he's spurned by these intense passions for a man he can't connect with.
Whoa, that's very adjacent, now that you mention it.
And is also traumatized by the lack of strong mother figures in his life.
How's the animation in that
mother
movie?
Figure?
It's peak.
Can I just jump in there, having only seen that one Gundam miniseries about
sure, why
sad
not?
children?
Who gives a fuck? It's 2024, baby.
I think you can actually kind of just jump right into Char's counterattack.
I mean, we made Keo watch this, so why don't we?
Keo is like...
Okay, I'm going to go fire up the screen share. We can watch it right now.
You mentioned Space Ideon Runaway. That's sort of like the Tomino version of End of Evangelion, right?
Yes, especially the ending, which I will not spoil.
How's the animation in Char's counterattack?
It's good. It's peak.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
They hand animate every explosion.
It's got some great 80s like theme music.
Yeah. All right, baby. All right, I like Char's counterattack. I'm going to take that with me.
That's a tune in on Char's counterattack.
And I'm also going to take Stairmaster's habit of casually saying, "It's peak." I really like that. It's mine now. Thanks, there.
I didn't invent it, but okay.
We don't say Kino anymore. We say peak.
People used to say it's Kino. Yuck.
Kino is Russian for cinema.
I know that, but that just sounds lame as fuck.
People did used to say Kino. In fact, I believe Stair has said it multiple times on the podcast.
Peak is English for top of the triangle.
I just think it's fun to
that's
say.
That's a good Dio album.
Oh yeah. So how'd you guys see this movie?
I watched it on my computer machine.
Ooh, right on the top.
I used the same rip I had when I first watched it about 12 years ago.
A, that's adorable. I'm glad you still have that MP4 file. But B, why would you do that inside of the Netflix? Do you have a better bitrate?
Well, one, I don't have a Netflix account on my computer.
You don't get a promo account?
No.
For this podcast that so many people listen to?
You definitely don't. Yeah. It's shocking. We've asked and there's been zero reply.
I thought they didn't even give you guys Peacock?
No, they gave us what was it? Quibi.
Yes.
They gave us Quibi, but that was it.
Geo, as a normal person with like a job and a family, you probably didn't hear this, but the Netflix subtitles for Evangelion were very controversial.
Well, the dub's better anyways.
Oh, okay, buddy.
The acting is great.
So it's funny that you say that, Stair.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say first off that I didn't have my Evangelion theater experience because instead I used my once monthly, although never usually a month, movie going experience for Dune Part 2.
Whoa!
Dune Part 2.
That's certainly an inferior movie, but please go on.
Well, Dune is like the great-great-great-granddad.
Oh yeah, like I was gonna say, like there is some shocking overlap that you could make between.
Expand on that.
There's definitely themes. There's definitely overlapping themes, like the being destined for something that you don't want.
Okay.
Well, Evangelion has like 500 parents, and Dune's like one of the oldest ones of them.
Right, but it's been so long that Dune 2 is not fucking 1954 Dune 2. It's a new thing. So it's been so long that it wrapped around it is now the child of the offspring, man.
I
guess that's true. It's kind of like saying that Dune is now based off of Star Wars or something, though.
Stairmaster, could you do anything? Could you do a single fucking thing in your life without it having been influenced by End of Evangelion?
I don't know if I'd want to.
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't think Dennis Villeneuve watched End of Eva.
Dennis Villeneuve, that guy's just frantically digging a hole in his backyard to throw his Blu-ray into right now.
He didn't mention. Listen, I did read an interview of his, and he did not mention End of Evangelion, but he did, strangely enough, mention The Godfather when he was talking about Paul Atreides.
What do you think about it? He is sort of like.
He was like, when you think about it, Paul Atreides is like a Michael Corleone figure.
Which one was Michael? Was that Robert De Niro?
No, Michael was Al Pacino.
Who was James Caan then?
James Caan was his brother, I think.
James Caan wasn't James.
He was
James Caan was the guy who gets shot
Fredo.
James Caan was the guy who gets shot at the toll booth.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's one hell of a scene. One hell of a James Caan.
Yeah, and Robert De Niro plays his dad in the flashbacks, but not in the present.
Yes. That's right.
Wait,
Robert De Niro is young.
No, he's in the second one.
Robert De Niro is young Marlon Brando.
Okay.
Yeah, but Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, of course, are not on screen together until 1995's Heat.
Right.
TV Tuner's Film of the Year, all years.
A seminal work. Anyway, I wasn't saying this to... Listen, this isn't the Dune cast, okay?
I want to do
I was just letting you know that there was a theater experience that I was having. And it was a good time, but I'll talk about it on the main feed.
Did you impact?
Oh, yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
But, so, for Evangelion, I watched this movie twice, as I had said. I think I said it when we started recording.
Me too.
I watched this movie twice, 2 different ways.
Well, let's hear about
just to get a feel for this, okay? So, I watched it subbed, paying attention to it, regular speed. That might clue you into how I watched it the second time.
Oh no.
The second time, I decided, let's just let it wash over me. So I decided to watch it dubbed.
With your eyes clamped open.
1.5 speed.
What?
What? Were you watching it, or were you like on a phone or something?
No, I watched it 1.5 speed, but dubbed, so that I didn't have to read subtitles really fast.
I don't know if we're friends anymore.
Have you ever done that before?
You watched it fast?
Have you done that before?
I've never done that with anything, really watched something fast, no.
That's so fucking weird, dude.
Yeah, I don't think you should have admitted to that. I don't think you could have gotten that out of me at a Guantanamo.
Well, I'd already examined the movie. I was just examining it again in a different lens.
It's disrespectful, is what it is.
If there ever was a movie to get weird with, though, it's End of Eva. So I kind of applaud Swanson for pushing the envelope. No, it's a filthy thing to do. It's a filthy thing to do.
Thank you, Geo.
Okay, Geo, I've watched multiple programs on this podcast.
That's different. That's different. We only look at slop on this show.
You guys, my mind has been altered by some of those experiences.
I know. I didn't.
Well, what did I watch it like 2x speed? Was it Space Jam?
I hope it was Space Jam. We will.
Listen, you guys can drag me all you want, but the end of this movie at 1.5 speed is...
Oh, no.
As close as you're going to get to a revolutionary experience. Like, your mind will be altered.
Oh, my God. Did you try to look at the sequence near the end, right before the movie theater part? Like, were you watching it at 1.5 really hard?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was watching the whole thing at 1.5.
Mm. So which way was better, then?
The regular way was better.
Even though it was subs and you had to look at words on the bottom of your screen?
Well, yeah, because...
Yeah.
It's fine for me.
It's a skill you can learn.
I just had a revelation, boys. So here's the thing. At first I was sitting in the middle of the theater, right? But then there was this guy 3 seats down from me that kept sniffling really fucking loudly, like intermittently too. Like if it was every 4th second, it could have been fine, but it was really weird and infrequent. So I had to sit way down in the fucking front and looking straight up. And I think when you're at that, I think subs are really bad, not only in a theater, but in a theater in the front row. I think that's why it was a bad experience for me, because if I'm just looking at a TV screen in a living room, I can flick, I don't even have to look down at the fucking text. But I practically had to move my neck, so maybe that's why I missed so much shit.
So it really felt like Ray's head was coming towards you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah, I could not imagine seeing this in theaters. I don't think I could have.
Why not? It was really good.
Do you think you would just sort of turn? You think you would just sort of melt into a puddle of like orange goo?
Yeah, I think I would have just been stuck in my seat afterwards.
I was.
I just would have been like Shinji at the end of the series, at the end of the TV series.
We'll get there when we get there, Stairmaster. But the best thing about seeing it in theaters is that it cuts at the end.
Yeah.
It just cuts at the end, lights out, and that's it. There's no credit roll or anything.
Well, yeah, it's a movie.
That was fourth impact. No. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, Shinji's on the beach, crying like a motherfucker.
Not all movies end like that.
Yeah, that's usually credits. That is the movie. There's no credits at the end. They're in the middle.
Oh, you're saying it's this movie.
But if you see it on like Netflix, there are credits, and if you see it on a rip, it doesn't stand out because you're like, okay, they stopped pirating the movie before the credits.
The rip I had the credits at the end, so I only learned just now.
That was the other big difference for me, is that second time around at 1.5 speed, I did watch dubbed on Netflix. And I can't confirm what Stair has said and what millions of people have probably said, which is that the subtitles, which I had on even though it was dubbed, do suck.
Well, the reason
they don't match up to what people are saying at all.
Did I have different ones in theaters?
Probably.
I must have, because it didn't have the credits that the Netflix thing has at the end.
So the Netflix subtitles for this TV series downplay the homosexuality a lot.
Oh. Do you have any specific differences for us, man?
Oh, there was a random line about left-wing terrorists that has no bearing in the original. Yeah.
Really? That's wild.
I don't even know why they included that.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
People got
but really, it's the gay stuff that's egregious.
Yeah.
What is
the gay stuff? I need to hear some gay. I need to hear about this gay you're speaking of.
What is gay in End of Evangelion?
Are we saying that Shinji has like bisexual tendencies?
Well, there is the fact he only opens himself up to a giant naked man and is terrified by the giant naked woman.
Well, not only that, but up to in that sequence of the movie too, like the Reaper of the Angel of Death materialized to people as their crush, right? Yeah, so that just confirms that Karyu is his biggest crush.
No, because that's like the avatar of Lilith. So he doesn't get turned. I don't think we see him turned into Tang. We just see the Evangelion subsumed into the.
But he does turn into Tang, or else he wouldn't come out of Tang.
So you're saying he's strangling Asuka at the end because of his his repression?
Well, he's strangling Asuka because he's desperate for a human connection, which is also why he does what he does at the start of the movie.
See, I took it as a very basic... We're getting ahead of ourselves, but I took it...
No, that's not... Masturbating is not...
He's strangling something.
Well, for a normal person, yes.
Next to a person at a hospital?
For a normal person, maybe.
I don't know if that's a human connection if someone's comatose and you're...
No, it's not. It's not interactive. Inherently, dude.
He's demanding
That's one way.
Desperate for catharsis, is what I'm saying. And that's
Swanson,
like a hollow it's a hollow substitute.
Stairmaster, this is how it ends.
I also watched it 2 times. Can I talk about my second way?
Oh, go ahead.
My second way was in my own home on my OLED TV, which I finally got after like 10 years of wanting one. And man, I loved it a lot more than seeing it in theaters, I'm sorry to say. And especially because of the dub, like I said, I was able to actually watch the screen instead of like looking at the giant words at the bottom of the screen. So the best way to watch Ava is really at home.
So what I'm hearing here is that the rest of us...
So don't feel too bad if you missed it in theaters.
What I'm hearing here is the rest of us have been vindicated.
Yeah. It was still good, though. I don't know, like seeing Asuka wreck those dudes on a theater screen was really good. And Swanson, seeing the empty theater in the theater, bro, it doesn't get a lot more Ava than that.
You just like looked around and you were like, whoa, am I there?
Yeah. Because there was only 6 other people in my whole town that were weird enough to see Ava at 2 p.m. on a Sunday.
Hey, I mean, that makes sense. So, I guess it's about time we get into it, huh, boys?
No games. We're not here to play no games.
No games.
This is a serious solemn occasion. I think like the world ended or something.
There's no games. This is the end, as Jim Morrison once said. So yeah, I mean, listen. Stair already pretty much explained the beginning of the episode.
Well, you gotta do it anyways.
I gotta explain it? I mean, listen, Shinji's there and he's like...
For anyone who has not seen this
I need your help.
Shinji's looking at the nuked ruins of Neo Tokyo. Wait, Tokyo 2. Right. Tokyo
Great
2.
shots.
Neo Tokyo is from Akira.
Why is it nuked? Why they nuke it?
Because an angel exploded. The penultimate angel exploded. Oh, no. Rei blew herself up because of the penultimate angel bonding with her Eva.
So is that episode 23 or whatever the show before the show's ending? Okay. I can't really remember anything there.
And in episode 24, Shinji kills Kaoru after getting rinsed up by him. And
What, so 25 and 26 are the original end?
Which, of course, infamously had no budget.
Kind of looks like it, yeah. But please continue. So we open up in a totally fucked up, bombed out Neo Tokyo. It's beautiful. We get a lot of oceanic shots of crumpled skyscrapers. And then there's a hospital.
Yeah, and Shinji's there pleading to a comatose Asuka, begging her to help him because he can't go to Kaoru because he killed him. And Ayami scares him because she got cloned. And the vibes are totally fucked.
Yeah, whenever, like, if we were to get cloned, that would fuck up the vibes for sure.
Shaking, yeah.
He accidentally rolls her over, and these, the hospital stickery, wiry dudes rip off her chest, revealing her naked breasts. And then the camera mercifully wanders around the room until it lingers on a locked door lock, and you realize that dude's cranking it.
That dude's just going to town. That dude's just... His wild hog is out.
and then you can be glad for having not seen any of it. But then it cuts back to him, and you just see a
A handful of jizz. That's a great Tom Waits album, by the way.
This is a great way to open your movie.
More movies should do this.
So anyways, we cut back to the Nerve headquarters. Or do we cut? I don't remember. I just watched this movie 90 minutes ago. Trying to recall shot by shot.
So
they're talking about how all the angels are down. The bridge crew is talking about how all the angels are dead, but they're on emergency alert. And they don't know what's going on.
So how soon is this? Is this like minutes after 23 then?
I think it's like maybe a day.
Okay.
Well, really, if you look at it, this film is a sequel to episode 25 and 26.
Wait. No,
well,
I thought
like,
it was.
Metatextually, I think you could argue it's a sequel where Shinji.
Okay, what are we talking about? Episode 23, and then we're talking about episode 25.
We're talking about.
Let me take a stab at this. There, you've been on the tape for a while. Now it's time for everyone to hear how beautiful I sound. Okay, Kyo. So basically, the show Evangelion was a one-season show that had like 26 episodes. And originally, 25 and 26 are sort of famously complicated or like famously derisive episodes because what was a mech fighting, abstract monster show suddenly just became a therapy session. Like the last two episodes are basically like an expression of a therapy session, and like Shinji being like, oh, okay, so this is what it's like to not hate myself. This could be pretty decent. And it's actually really good. I actually really love those last two episodes. They're really cool if you take them.
There are some shots. There are some shots that imply that similar stuff is happening. Like you do see Rasuka dead, laying in the pool dead in one shot, if I recall. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So there's a fan theory that ending is the one where instrumentality goes off as planned.
Right. Yeah, because the process of the therapy going, Kyo, is that like. That 25 and 26, it literally says in a title card in the beginning, like, hey, this is human instrumentality, it's happening, and this is Shinji's exact story. So, like, you're seeing Shinji's brain getting turned into juice.
You keep saying this word, instrumentality, but...
yeah.
Think of the singularity, Kyo.
I can tell you that. That's no big deal, buddy. So, think about humanity. Yeah, it's a singularity thingamadoos.
Okay,
every conscience just sort of melds into one big pool.
Which you see happening in this movie, and that's how 25 and 26 are. And instead of seeing the violence, instead of seeing, in some ways, the movie is like the outside, what that event looks like on the outside, but the TV show's ending is what it looks like on the inside to the psychology of one of those liquidated.
Of course, I would go with. There's the interpretation that this film is a sequel, a meta sequel, where Shinji tries to apply the lesson of loving himself, and we see all the pitfalls and false starts that would entail. But you know what isn't a sequel is the rebuilds, because those aren't a sequel to Evangelion; they're autobiographies about the director's life, using the story of Evangelion as an allegory.
Such as how.
Basically, it's like the start. It's like centered around.
Swanson, help me out here. Somebody who also...
Him and his depression.
Stairs running with the ball.
Evangelion 1 ends on Rebuild 1 ends on a triumphant note because that's him making the TV series.
I don't know what rebuild is. Like, you're saying more words.
We'll talk about this some other time.
I want to hear about it. Let him run. He's got the ball. Let him make it to the end zone. I forgot what
Rebuild 2 was supposed to be, but Rebuild 3 is basically around... after he makes End of Eva, he sort of falls into limbo. That's why that movie's so bleak and painful.
Yeah, but then it actually ends really hopeful and like happily.
Shinji the stand-in for the director Hideaki Anno, gets a wife. Yeah.
It is the best stuff ever. It really is dope.
Too bad.
So that does make sense, and I can do it.
Can you help me out here and tell me what Rebuild is? Because I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm lost.
We're a quadrilogy of films released starting in 2007 to 2022.
Okay, and what are they?
Yeah. It's sort of like a reboot, but through
it's sort of like a remake, except after the second one, it goes wildly off the established plot line. And even then, in the first one, there's elements that tell you that something's up.
And there's also like red yarn bullshit of people being like, they're not reboots, they're meta sequels. You know, that big old college word Sarah just used a minute ago.
They're okay. I still think End of Eva's peak, but maybe that's just because I'm old.
Yeah, I agree. I'll say I've tried watching a lot of anime in my life, and I never really connected with any of it, but Evangelion and End of Evangelion, and the rebuilds are fine, and I watch them, but they don't really hit me like the original run.
And I'm still mad that they used CGI for the fourth one. Yeah.
Did they? I thought it was still very impressive.
Well, yeah, the character stuff is hand-drawn, but the robots are CGI.
Didn't they use CGI for all of them?
They started using CGI in 3. I think they might have done it in 2 as well, but not only for a few shots. But in 4, it's most...
I will say End of Eva.
Before, it was all CGI. Because they're running out of people who can animate giant robots. Yeah.
It's too bad. End of Eva is eternally beautiful because of that. Like, it's such a beautifully drawn and animated
This is why you gotta watch Shark's Counterattack, man.
I want to see it, and I want to start saying peak like you do as well. That's peak. No.
So anyways, we cut to...
Nerves getting raided.
We cut to Misato in the computer hallway trying to hack in. That's where they get the hacker battle between the Magi and the Nerve Core and all the other Magis around the world.
So where was she?
He was like in the innards.
She was in Nerve inside the computer dudes? Yeah. So was she... what was she hacking?
He was trying to find out all the lore, which is...
So she was hacking their
to
own
find
systems.
out what Gendo's real game plan
she was.
That's why she has a line about, that's what Second Impact really was.
Yeah, she was looking up lore.exe.
She was looking up GameFAQs.com for Evangelion on the PlayStation 2.
She got one of those that has like the ASCII artwork at the top, and
that's why she isn't that why.
Translation of all the gallery notes.
It's essentially just a good reason for us to have the scene where she pretty much exposition dumps to Shinji in the vehicle.
Well, no, she doesn't. I don't think she actually drops any exposition like lore-wise. She just tells him to stop being a fuck up in the car, right?
Get your stick on the ice, kid.
No, she tells him what the third impact is and what that's going to be.
Anyways, there's a hacker battle. They release Sakagi. They release Rasuka from the prison cell and let her reprogram Magi, which later we learned she's doing some trickery. Also, her mom is in the computer, Kyo.
Oh, there's a lot of moms in this movie, Kyo.
Her mom's in the computer, okay.
Mom's in the computer, mom's in the Evangelion suit.
Mom is the Evangelion.
So the hacker battle failed, so the Illuminati decided to send... The Illuminati ordered the Japanese military to attack Nerve. And we get a massacre.
Yeah. Hate to see it.
Do you think Tomino watched this movie and was like, it's too many mothers?
No, they're good friends, Tomino and Anno. So,
you can be critical of your friends.
Yeah.
Like, if you made this movie, I'd be like, Stairmaster, do you have mommy issues? What's going on?
Stairmaster needs a mother figure.
Stairmaster, I knew you had it in you, buddy. I knew all this time.
I would say, Stairmaster, it's really impressive that you animated this and voice acted it all by yourself, but what's up with all these moms?
Yo, Stair, what's up with these moms, bro?
No, Tomino would never rag on Anno, because Anno is the only guy who likes Victory Gundam.
Ooh, other than you.
Perhaps we're the same person. You ever consider that?
I thought about it, but we ruled it out.
I loved Shin Godzilla. Didn't Anno make Shin Godzilla?
Yeah.
Stair, this is interesting. When I type mom into my URL search bar in my browser, the top suggestion is live music on YouTube. What happens when you do it?
I don't know if I should.
Careful, Stair. You might out yourself.
Okay, so
kind of
mom...
weird search you put.
No space bar?
No space bar.
Mom, American sitcom.
Oh, okay.
Momotaro,
yeah,
Japanese restaurant, 820 West Lake Street, Chicago, IL. I don't live in Chicago.
Yeah, I get Mom, American sitcom as my top thing as well.
Oh, dude. And then they were driving in the Jeep. Wait, no. And then Nerve was raiding Nerve. Wait,
no, the Illuminati is raiding Nerve. The United Nations are raiding Nerve.
Via the Japanese self-defense force, but with a lot more S's for some reason.
Why are they doing that? What's going on
because
here?
They want to secure the Evangelion so they can do human instrumentality and initiate the next stage of human existence.
Why now?
Because
I
all the
typed
angels
Mom
are...
Evangelion into... Sorry, I typed Mom Evangelion into Google and it gave me Shinji's mom.
Makes sense.
All right, baby.
So they want to do instrumentality because the angels are what now?
Well, yeah.
Why? Because all the angels were dead?
Because now it's safe to do it, because all the angels are dead, Adam was neutralized.
Oh, what would have happened if they did it before the angels
one of the
were
angels
all dead?
might have merged with Lilith, and then a new form of life would have terraformed the Earth. Because Adam and Lilith are both seeds of life. As is explained from space.
Makes sense to me. This sounds like some lore that I should know about.
Well, this was all Swanson's idea. To go in blind.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. So anyways, where are we? They're getting attacked. Misato decides to put Asuka in the Eva and then put the Eva at the bottom of the lake.
So Stairmaster's grand idea here would be that we watch the entire series.
Maybe we...
How much time do you
I wasn't figuring we wouldn't do the special if you hadn't seen the series.
Oh, I should have known that Stairmaster's idea would be no work instead of
I
more
kind of just
work.
assumed you guys would object if you hadn't seen the series.
No, it's funny.
Okay. Yeah, funny.
Don't you want to know if someone who has never seen Evangelion can just watch the end of?
I was able to watch it.
I've heard a lot of people bringing their significant others into this blind at the theaters.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, that almost happened to me. Well, my wife totally would have saw it.
But why would you take your wife to see this?
Because I love watching movies with my wife.
It's an important movie, Kyo.
I mean, and it's an important without having without having watched the original series, though, you just take her.
What's the alternative? Having watched the original series.
I mean, yeah, I guess that is just the alternative.
It's only coming to theaters once, and it already happened.
Yeah,
you got to catch that train when it comes around.
You could have watched it in an evening. Yeah,
26 episodes is about. I want to say the better part of a day, Kyo.
The only way to solve this is to reboot the entire Earth.
Could you repeat yourself?
And have Geo. The only way to solve this is to sort of reboot the entire planet Earth. And have Geo go through this again.
Yeah. I could.
And watch Evo with his wife.
I'm like sort of popping in at random moments. Like just staring at him, and that's...
What?
If you watch it at 1.5 speed, you can get it done in a few hours.
No.
Yes.
No. Timing.
You're just trying to absorb the lore. You don't have to be entertained.
You shouldn't consume Evangelion like it's a shotgun can of Miller High Life.
Yeah, it's fine wine.
Don't tell me how to consume.
Fair enough, my friend. Fair enough.
So yeah, we get Misato's laying down the defense plan. She finds out that Shinji is nowhere to be found. It's like, oh dear God. And leaves long-haired guy to defend the base. Solely off of the fact his voice is so deep and charismatic. Oh yeah, and then Gendo's like, okay, you can take care of this, right? First, old man, my token old man friend. So he wanders off too.
Yes.
And we get a montage of people just being killed. It feels like Anno saw the terrorist attack scene in Char's counterattack and wanted to one-up it by extending it from 5 seconds long to like 5 minutes.
Yeah, Nerve really just gets rolled like a bunch of fucking nerds.
We just see like random women getting gunned down, random bridge personnel.
So do you think it's better?
Huh?
There's a lot of people just getting murdered in this portion of the film.
Do I think it's... Oh, is that Geo?
Do you think it's better than the terrorism scene you alluded to in Char's counterattack?
Oh no, it's like vanilla and Char. It's like flavors of ice cream.
There's a lot less outright violence in Char's counterattack. There's a lot less outright violence in Char's counterattack and zero boobs.
This movie literally has entire vaginas in it.
It's true.
Well, yeah. To each its own.
Yeah.
You can see boobs in Space Runaway 80.
What do you mean by that?
Different strokes for different folks.
What's Shinji's strokes?
What's Char's counterattack?
Two guys rolling around in the grass,
I think we already know, I guess.
Trying to beat each other up. While also it being a thinly veiled homoerotic undertones between them.
Stairmaster, tell me everything you know about using bakelite as a defense.
Yeah, they
deterrent.
flood the bakelite. I don't know.
So what is bakelite?
Isn't that like... Is that like some sort of concrete spinoff?
I thought it was a type of glass one could cook bread in, but apparently
bakelite,
in Japan it's like foam you spray into a hallway to
one of the
suffocate
earliest,
people.
Plastics.
So, Keo, as a guy who hasn't seen Evangelion,
I don't think they used
no
bakelite
idea
in
what was
the
going
TV
on.
show all that much.
How did you feel about the bakelite?
The iconic bakelite.
I honestly don't know what you're talking about.
The stuff that Shinji's robot was encased in.
Yeah, Masato. She's like, pull the bakelite.
And then later
they pulled
like
the
a couple
bakelite.
of scenes later, we cut to the special forces guy, and they're like, the bakelite was no problem. All of our objectives have been met. Also, you are authorized to kill everyone you see. After Masato told the non-combat personnel to surrender.
Even non-combatants. Yeah, it's pretty dire. It's pretty dire in End of Evangelion.
I don't even know where we are in the movie anymore.
So why do people want to...
Let's just fast
forward. Did we talk about why Nerve is being dismantled?
Yeah, because the Illuminati want the Evangelions for themselves so they can do instrumentality.
Why do they want that? Is it just like a cult? Or...
Yeah, they're like an Illuminati of rich people that were formed to make instrumentality happen because they want to be eternal spacemen. This shit happens in real life, Kyo.
This is what's happening.
Yeah, basically
right
the Davos group built some giant robots so they could kill and dethrone God.
Makes a lot of sense. And in order to do that, first they had to kill these 14 air quote angel things, which were just really strange geometric black shapes.
One of them is one of them is just a twink.
Oh God. Sarah, it does sound like nonsense when he's
one of them one of them does take the form of a twink, you said.
Who offers Shinji like unconditional love, but it's unhealthy because it's unconditional.
Yeah,
it doesn't challenge him in any way, and it kind of reinforces his worst habits.
That's not true. That's the most cynical, angry nerd bullshit ever. Unconditional love is a good thing. It's a very good thing. It's a beautiful thing.
The entire point of this movie is about how you shouldn't try to remove the barriers between
you could take it as
beings,
Shinji rejecting it because he doesn't believe he...
Despite them.
What? No,
and then we had crazy...
Yeah, you can have unconditional love over those barriers, though. The whole point of the movie is that instrumentality love is impossible.
Yeah.
Because you're in a dream state of only self with no true other. Love can only exist
a state of friction, which
another.
Kaoru was not offering Shinji.
Maybe Shinji rejects unconditional love because he himself does not believe he deserves it.
Yeah.
Not enough friction, dude.
I bet LCL would make great lube.
Nice.
Yeah, I would just definitely agree with Geo there that the concept of unconditional love is definitely a positive thing. And if Shinji rejected it...
Maybe if you watch the show, you know I was right.
Okay, maybe you're right, but conceptually, just the way it's being.
I feel like Shinji's like a character who like we're not supposed to be like, oh yeah, that's a dude who's like got it figured out.
Are you saying that Shinji made like the rational decision to reject that, and like he was being pragmatic and
he was operating the marketplace of ideas?
Shinji learned all of his lessons in the 2 episodes before the end.
Didn't he kill him?
Yeah, because he was going to go merge with Lilith. So he crushed him with the Evangelion hand.
And then doesn't he just merge with him anyway?
No, he's like pulped. And Jindo's got like his original core in his hand.
Oh no, I guess the clone lady merges with Lilith, right?
Yeah.
So he killed him for reasons unrelated to the whole unconditional love thing.
Yeah, totally. So the thing is, he crushed his first and last only boyfriend ever to death with his Eva hand in front of him while screaming in terrible pain, like about 12 minutes before this movie started. And he's always been a sad boy,
also,
but that's why he's the saddest boy in this movie.
He is doing a lot of assuming.
I'm very sorry about that.
I'm just saying there are a lot of flags that suggest that Shinji may be.
Are we assuming that Shinji's? Well,
Shinji.
There is a scene in the second half of the movie where Shinji creates a pillar of sand and then crushes it.
Right in front of like this silhouetted outline of a woman's body. And then he tries to build it back up. And I don't think it goes as well. Yeah.
Just like the momentum of this podcast.
When you think about it, TV tuners are sort of like a trans allegory.
Wait, were you saying...
No, I'm saying Shinji's trans.
Karyu is trans or Shinji?
I feel like you could...
Shinji's trans? Oh, I would... I mean, that's totally a valid read, but I read the sandbox thing as him wanting to, like, return to his mother in his own birth, and it's just a very surface-level birthing, like, visual metaphor of him being in the, in the delivering vagina of his birthing mother, like in that extracted shot. We got here too fast.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We haven't even gotten to the credits yet.
Not seen this
We're right in the middle.
We haven't even got Asuka in the
cockpit.
So
I think the special forces guys corner Shinji, and by corner I mean they just find him crying under the stairwell.
Yeah, he's not even doing anything. Hands still covered in jizz.
Yep. Oh, Sarge, he's got jizz hands.
We can't do anything with this kid.
And they were so disgusted by the jizz on his hands that Misato had time to run up and blast him.
She comes up on these guys. They're not at all prepared.
Here, I'm going to take the wheel for a bit, Ster. You just hang on. I'm going to get us to the good parts, okay? All right. I'm don't worry. I'm gonna switch it back when I get us there.
Don't go anywhere.
So Misato shoots those dudes in the dome and like saves Shinji, but he doesn't want to go because he's not a winner. He's kind of like a loser. Shinji does not keep his stick on the ice. A lot of things would have went better if he did. So Misato's dragging his fucking punk ass down this hallway, trying to get him to get in the mech because Asuka is like in her mech now. Asuka, of course, is the second of 3 Eva pilots of this organization, and she was the girl that Shinji jacked off over in the first few minutes of this movie, and she is still comatose, and they injected her into her mech and shot it to the bottom of the sea to keep her safe. And Misato's like, all that shit happened, now you gotta get in your fucking thing and drive, Shinji. And Shinji's like, yeah, I'm too sad, And now Stairmaster, I'm gonna give it back to you right now, with Asuka waking up in her mech and realizing that the mech is her mother.
Her mother, who tried to kill her and herself when she was like 6, because part of her soul got put in the mech, but not the entire thing.
So, like, they build the mechs out of human souls.
Well, Eva Unit 1 is just another Rey clone, who I think died when
Wait. I thought Eva 1 literally said it was Shinji's
Unit 0 is
mom.
Was the original Rey who got strangled by Dr. Ritsuka's mom when she found out that Gendo was cheating on her, I think.
Oh, so strangling isn't even unique to just this
that was like
particular part of this particular movie.
Unit 0?
Look, For Keo and Swanson,
Yeah.
Gendo Ikari is basically like if Quattro Brigida was Camille's dad. Yeah.
Oh no.
Wait.
Ray was
What
just a
was
clone
originally
of
then?
Yui, but they put some Lilith stuff in her.
And Gendo kept her as like a young
As a surrogate
girl,
daughter,
and,
I guess. And it's fucked up. And it's fucked up frozen grief, I guess, because Yui was already in the Evangelion at this point.
Why?
Because Gendo was paying more attention to Ray than her. Yeah, no, Ritsuka's mom.
Ray's mom.
The blonde lady.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. Her progenitor in her role.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. This is
And
all
so they put her in.
nice
They
and
put
quick.
dead Ray in the Unit 0, and then they cloned her, and that's the Ray we see in the TV series up until like the third to last episode or fourth to last episode.
That's fucking wild. What happens then?
Defeat the how many angels are there? Because they changed it. They changed how many
Oh my
angels there
God.
are in the rebuilds. Just to fuck with you.
Swanson, doesn't this sound so good?
I'm following.
But
all
anyway,
of
she
it.
blows herself up because an angel's trying
It's-
to merge with her, Ava, and her. And she's like a part of Lilith, so if that happens, instrumentality, or not instrumentality, but something similar will happen. And that's where we get the third Ray, who's the Ray in this movie.
So the robots they contain the souls of the pilot's moms, and they can only be piloted by
Also,
the
they're not
specific
robots, they're chunks of
child.
Lilith covered in metal, with a battery strapped to them.
Right, yeah, it's the other thing. They are biological.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Just chunks
That's
of
pretty
Lilith.
messed up, guys. I gotta admit.
Yeah.
Why did they do
Because
this
they want to
again?
become God.
Yeah, because they're getting used by the Illuminati to kill all these angels so they can triggers. Wait, but didn't the angels start some shit in the first place? Wait, no, mankind
because
started
they
some
found
shit
out
with
that
Second
Adam
Impact
had
in the first
landed on the
place.
planet, and they couldn't have Adam at full size if they wanted to do human instrumentality, so they set off Adam and caused Second Impact, melting Antarctica and fucking up the environment. Listen. This is all explained in like the gallery mode for the PlayStation 2 game.
I love everything you're saying, actually. I could hear I could listen to Stairmaster talking about Evangelion while I'm painting an entire house and have a great time.
Like, and the lore is basically just window dressing. It's all about the emotional journey that's going on here with Shinji.
Yeah, so why did Asuka's mom try to kill her? Oh, because when they harvested Asuka's mom for the
it took like part of
map,
her soul.
It took her soul, but it left some... Yeah, so did that go wrong? Was it supposed to take all of her soul?
Oh, I think this was before they did the soul. I
So
don't
is
really
Asuka's
remember.
back
It's been a
fucked up?
decade since I watched the show. And they also are very opaque about
I
everything
forgot
anyways.
there was any reason. I
Yeah.
forgot that she even tried to
She tried to kill Asuka,
I
then
thought she
hanged
just,
herself. And also she thought that a doll was Asuka instead of the real Asuka. Anyways, Asuka is resonating with
wow.
the soul fragment of her mom and the Eva. And triumphantly killing the JSDF.
Yeah, she goes to town on these folks.
She is vibing. She's living her best life. This was beautiful in a theater too, with
Yes.
the big landscape shots of like all this stuff happening, like her rising out of the sea to lift that like battleship that's there for some reason. That looks beautiful.
Well, that's a nerve battleship, by the way, if you notice. So she just killed everyone on that. Those were all people on her side that she killed when she threw that thing. Yeah.
Really? That's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, did she accomplish anything
And
with
it
this
counts-
sequence? It didn't seem like she did.
She killed the military.
That wasn't
the military
good,
was coming
was
to
it?
kill everyone in Nerve.
Yeah, she killed everybody who wasn't.
Technically.
So they were the
Yeah,
enemy.
I guess.
I thought you
Yeah.
just said. Okay, I think the main focus was she was fighting
those
those
come after she
angels.
kicks
Or those
everyone's
angels?
ass because they don't really have an answer to anything that can use an AT field.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me everything you know about these mass production Avas. Stair.
So there's a scene in the script for this movie that didn't make it to the film where you see Shinji's classmates talking about stuff, and they mention they're being flown out to Germany.
Yeah.
And I think it's implied that they get fed to the mass production Avas and are used as their cores. Yeah.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
What?
So those were mass production Avas, okay. And she's fighting them, but doesn't seem to really go too good.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kiorein, if I may. So wait. So what are they using if they can't use specific moms for the mass production Avas?
Shinji's classmates because they were also pilot candidates remember that one of them, Toji, does actually pilot Eva Unit 4, but it goes berserk.
Right.
Because of shoddy American engineering.
Yeah.
Because we outsourced all of our manufacturing and don't remember how to
right.
build flesh monstrosities anymore.
But what about so you're saying the pilots serve as the pilots,
I assume it's the classmates.
serve as the soul for the actual mass production Eva?
I think
they're doing both. Like one classmate turns into the.
I think they get
Eva
melted into the pilot plug,
plug,
and like they're just bestial intelligences from the flesh part that's piloting them, not the classmates. Yeah.
This is so fucked up, and I didn't know any of this. It's making my brain tingle, man.
I don't know if it's canon
so
because
cool.
it's not in the movie.
Holy
it's only
shit.
in the script.
This is some deep, heavy lore. Deep, heavy lore.
Dude, wait. So you're saying, okay? So
One
does
soul.
each of those things take one souls or two souls? Because one Eva, because there's two souls in a standard Eva. Because there's the Eva and the pilot, right?
Why do they make these?
But these are just one soul.
What's the point of these things?
Because it's the only they needed something that could take on an Eva, I guess, in the event of an uprising or a rebellion, such as is happening. Damn, it's so tightly written. Oh man, they're so fucked up. The way these things move, like the way they fall out of the sky, like this whole movie.
They're dudes without eyes, but they have mouths. That's always creepy.
Yeah, and they're like these loose, flippity, floppity, like fucking shoe leather mouths, man.
And they've also got like pigeon wings.
Oh, dude.
Angelic pigeon wings.
Oh my god. And Asuka just like wrecks them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because she had an umbilical cable, because you got to plug in Evas, because much like any solid good power tool, you got to actually plug it into an outlet. And if it gets unplugged, you only get 2 minutes. Or 5 minutes, or I bet Stairmaster knows the exact minutes and seconds.
It's 5 minutes, because that's a nice round number.
Perfect. And that's what was happening to Asuka, and she fucking aced them all, and like Shinji was being such a bad friend.
Oh wait, you skipped over the most important part of this half of the movie, where Misato gets shot while escorting Shinji to the elevator and has to give him a dying pep talk, telling him about how life is about making mistakes and moving on. And then Shinji's not getting it, so she just bribes him with a kiss. Because she's out of options and she never really learned to form bonds with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just dies.
Except there is a shot of Rei staring at her before the explosion. So it's assumed she's scooped up into instrumentality.
She dies talking about how she wanted to change the carpet. Yeah. Which feels like one of those closing lines they'd give a character in Gundam right before they
usually
die.
In Gundam they're like, oh! And then they explode.
No, I mean like a main character. Usually if a main character is dying in Gundam, they have some moment where they're like retrospective, looking back on something.
I find that kiss believable for the reason Stairmaster just said, you know. Do you think it's believable, him masturbating in the hospital in the beginning of the movie, guys?
Yes.
It's pretty believable to me that person would do that. Yeah.
I've never
that it's possible that like someone could do it.
Hands, and I've never crushed a lover with my bare hands.
Because I'm sure someone could too.
I've never also think about that angle, fought like inhuman atrocities like a dozen times in a row. I've also didn't have a weird girlfriend, quasi-crush female figure mysteriously get replaced by an exact lookalike who sort of remembers me but doesn't at the same time. And doesn't really share the emotional connection I
My mom's soul has never been put into a robot either, and then I was never expected to pilot that robot.
Oh, there is one episode of Evangelion where he falls into an angel and is trapped in a pocket dimension for like 72 hours in a sensory deprivation state. Yeah, that was also probably bad for him.
Yeah, dude. This show is so good. Everything you just talked about was so fucked up. Oh my god.
It's a good show.
Like, I gotta watch that show again, dude. There's so many good episodes.
If I were him, I would have just gotten the robot.
Why can't this guy just get over it like Amuro Ray?
He's got to get his stick on the ice.
Why can't this kid just end up like a normal person, like Amuro Ray? Nothing bad ever happened to him after he got done with the war.
Yeah, I would have simply saved Asuka, and I would have done a good job.
Well,
Kyo would have, dude. He would have kept his stick on the ice.
I would have simply saved Asuka and told her my feelings.
And what are his feelings?
I would say Asuka, I'm feeling pretty bad right now.
I love you, but I also want to destroy you because I can.
Honestly, I do. When Asuka says like, "Hey, you don't actually love me. You're just desperate to whatever's around you," I do feel that. I don't think I don't feel much of a specific, genuine connection that he feels to Asuka so much as just a desperate flailing for anything.
I'm reading into things and I'm basing it off of stuff that I've heard about Shinji throughout the years, but isn't he like a big like Oedipal boy?
Well, I mean, Misato is a...
What was that word?
Oedipal, like Oedipus complex, like he's a big mama.
I wouldn't... No, I mean, the fact that Rei is a clone of his mom, it was like a love interest, sorta. But he doesn't know that, yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't really know that. Wait, but nor did Oedipus, though, right?
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Oedipus does not find out until the end, in fact.
There's nothing edible about him wanting anything with Misato, dude.
I mean, she's an older woman, right?
An older woman taking care of him. Trying to provide guidance.
Isn't she the one who recruits?
Yeah, but she's also quite literally not his mom.
It's easy to... I think it's easy...
Yeah, she's not a mom at all.
She can't figure out what to tell him.
It's easy to sort of make a bridge between the hatred he has for... The love/hatred he has for Asuka, someone who is roughly the same age as him compared to the other women in his life.
Well, Asuka's like the only one you can really say is his peer. Because Rei is a weird alien god being. Misato's 10 years older than him. 15.
I like Asuka. I think she's such a wonderful character. Yeah, the way how Shinji's desperately flailing for people, like Asuka has the world shut out, like just that fucking hard. Like, I think her getting spat out of the ocean near the end makes a lot of sense because in the show she just displays just like germophobia and like repulsion to other people in a way that's pretty identifiable. And her not wanting to get into the tub. You remember that episode, Stairmaster?
To get out
her
of the
not
tub.
wanting to get into the fucking tub. No, I thought she was really grossed out by the concept of bathing in a tub.
I thought you meant when
she
tried to, she found in the tub. And that's why she's hospitalized.
So much tub in this show.
We didn't even talk about why she's in the hospital.
But I mean...
Because she gets mind blasted by another angel. Which brings about the flashback of her mother. And so Rei has to come out with the Lance of Longius. And that lands on the moon, which comes back for third impact, as we see later.
Such a good tool. Yeah, that scene. Okay, earlier in this podcast, when I said that Evangelion was successful at communicating emotional states that no other movie or show really did, like Asuka getting blasted in the brain by that thing that put her in the hospital, was an incredibly fucking powerful sequence for me, at least in the TV show. Like it really felt relatable.
That's also the episode with the elevator scene, isn't it? The iconic elevator scene where they're just standing there saying nothing.
Yeah. So Kyo and Swanson, imagine the Snake Eater sequence in Snake Eater with the ladder, except now imagine it with no soundtrack at all.
Imagine two anime girls standing in an elevator, trying not to make conversation because they hate each other's guts. Well, one does.
And also because the studio's running out of money and they can make it 30 seconds instead of 10 seconds.
So anyways,
okay. I'm imagining
Asuka kills all the mass production Evas, then her battery runs out. Then the mass production Evas regenerate. She gets skewered in the head.
Why do they regenerate?
No. They got the S2 units, which gives them unlimited power.
Unlimited power.
The S2 units are like the cores that the angels have. Shinji's Eva rips one out of an angel halfway through the series, so it doesn't need the power cord.
That's fucking wild. So none
so they regenerate. They skewer her with lances, and she gets skewered through the face with the Lance of Longius, which causes her eyeball to explode because she's 100% synchronized with the robot. That's also why she's covered in bandages at the last scene of this movie.
What's this whole spear deal?
The lance.
So the Spear of Longitis IRL is the specific spear. It was a spear that was stabbed into Jesus on the cross. Am I correct there? Yeah.
I believe that this is just another random alien artifact. I don't know. You'd have to play the PlayStation 2 game to find out.
Ooh, okay. Let me get on that.
I'm pretty sure Anno or somebody is on record saying that the Christian symbology is non-specific and that they just thought it looked cool and nobody on the creative staff is Christian. That's also because of his
Ultraman film where Ultraman gets crucified. He probably wanted to do a homage to that. Yeah.
What?
He did a lot.
Wait. You mean the Ultraman
No.
film
The
he
one
did
he
this
did in the
decade or
80s.
even older?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he did one back then.
Yeah.
He crucified Ultraman?
Ultraman gets crucified by the other Ultraman, I think.
So does Anno actually... He must have some kind of relationship with Christianity then, right?
I mean...
Or he really just spent decades being like, this looks cool.
I mean, from the Japanese perspective, Christianity is basically an alien entity that sort of infested their civilization. Okay. But that could be a whole podcast to talk about. If you'd like to know more, watch the TV show Shogun, now available on FX.
Tune in from us, by the way.
Thanks for the rec. I'll be sure to tune in. I love this show.
So anyway, Asuka gets... the mass production Evas literally pounce on her like vultures and tear her Evangelion apart.
It's terrible. Just rip into her like a bunch of fucking alligators.
Shinji's
flesh and shit.
Eva wakes up.
Yeah,
kind of forces him to get in.
This was some disturbing shit, by the way. Her the way they mutilated that corpse, I guess it became.
Yeah. So did she lose her eye in reality when this happens there?
I'm pretty sure. Because you can see blood coming out under her hand when she's clutching it. And she does have bandages on her arm that got ripped off.
How does she not just die here?
I think she does die, and then she gets picked up in this instrumentality because it happened moments later.
How did she get picked up?
Because the soul's real.
Yeah, how'd she get picked up if she was dead?
It just picks up on its own?
Yeah.
Or...
Like her soul was just vibing.
Yeah,
for
I think the soul's real in Evangelion, but the afterlife isn't, which is part of the reason instrumentality is a big deal to the big wigs.
So
they can live forever and they don't have to actually die.
If it's just her soul, why would the damage to her body...
Because she's synchronized with her synchronization rate's 100%, Kyo.
Why does she have bandages on, though?
She got Kyo.
She got like soul medical treatment, or
because she went through the medical tent and instrumentality because she got
Hawkeye did a work on her
because it looked cool.
In the soul medical tent.
Wait, so souls are real.
The afterlife isn't.
What?
I don't think this is something I read somewhere. I'm not even sure it's true. But they just dissipate after you die.
What's that mean? Oh yeah. So how did Asuka get picked up if she died and her soul dissipated?
Well, you see Rei pop up before Misato dies, so presumably she does the same for Asuka.
It's big presumably there.
Come on.
Oh, that was why Rei was next.
And she also why she pops up earlier in the TV series. Because she's also atemporal when she's in full Lilith mode.
Wait, when Rei pops up earlier in the TV series? There's some other shots of her in the
series, I think. I think she, like the first episode.
That's wild. And that's from End of Eva?
Yeah, it's all like propagating from instrumentality and End of Eva. Yeah, but Asuka's dead right now.
Holy cow.
And so Shinji is in...
And Shinji sees this and he's like, oh no.
Also, this is like the coolest robot intro. Yeah.
The shot of the mass production Evas flocking away from Asuka while biting onto her entrails that are pulling away until they pop back into her.
Yeah, and then
really
Shinji comes out of the ground in Eva Unit 1, all Victory Gundam style with the huge wings of light behind him.
And does nothing.
And like some Dragon Ball Z weather phenomena it's happening. It's pretty badass. And then he sees Asuka and he has...
It would be like if Goku had like a big introduction and then was just like...
Oh, fuck!
Had a mental breakdown.
And there's still like soldier people just chilling out there.
Well, they're all kind of like in a stupor at this point.
Listen, those soldier guys get there in the second half, though.
It's like in the Call of Duty games when your little mission objective just becomes survive.
Oh, it's terrible. Reality is breaking before these
normal these people. Soldiers are like the first ones to get turned into...
But anyways, the credits roll. It's over.
Keep on going.
I fight for my friends.
I'm sorry I couldn't be a better mother figure to you, Swanson. It's over.
Keep on going.
I fight for my friends.
I'm sorry I couldn't be a better mother figure to you, Swanson.
TV Tuners 2420, The End of Evangelion was produced using short musical samples from Immortal Technique and Method Man, as well as the standard TV Tuners intro and outro music, which, according to the metadata tags on the MP3 files that Swanson had sent me, were contributed to by music designed by Jason Inc. And as always, this podcast would not be possible without the valuable artistic contributions of Stairmaster.
I'm sorry I couldn't be a better mother figure to you, Swanson.
It's over.
Orange goop.
This.
Yes, it was a great time to pee.
This is a bop. This track is a bop.
It is, dude. I definitely put it on again. It's on Spotify. Like, I looked up the song and I listened to it the next day, and all the lyrics were new to me about how they're, like, the song is upbeat, but all the lyrics are about how the world is over and you'll never love again and stuff like that. These are very good credits. It's a very late 90s swirly-do CGI effect of the words.
Anyways, yeah, then we're on to episode 26. Yep. Shinji gets crucified. The Kabbalah appears. Meanwhile, back at the bottom of Nerve, Gendo Gendo is at the LCL pools next to a crucified Lilith and a naked Rei. Well, yeah.
It's weird vibes right now, man. It's just strange
very
man
unpleasant
vibes right now.
Rei's arm falls off because instrumentality shit is happening.
Yeah, what is he doing? What's he talking about here? He's just like, hey,
you got the fragment of...
He's like, Rei, make all the souls become souls and do the soul thing and get that bones off you. Don't get rid of that.
Stop being bones and start being a mind meld thing. Fluid.
Gendo's
start being fluid.
Only goal here is to bring back his dead wife. Everything else is secondary to him. So he's gonna merge. He's gonna merge with Lilith via Rei using the chunk of Adam that's in his hand.
So he's the ultimate wife guy? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. He's like Char-Aznable.
This guy, this idiot, this
I feel like he's not like Char-Aznable because Char-Aznable does not have any actual reason. Like, Char's not trying to to reunite with somebody.
You're right.
He's just upset.
Yeah, Char's a lot just more lashing out. Sort of.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if he thought that this could help him like reunite with Lala, he would. But
yes, that's basically the idea.
Is this the scene where
he sticks his hand literally inside her? But first, Kage Ritsuka confronts him.
Yeah, why did he put his hand there? What's up with that? Can you explain that to me?
Because that's where her heart
is.
Yeah, but then he drags his hand down towards the bottom of her torso, and she gasps about the moment it would reach between her legs.
Because that's where the uterus is.
Okay, why?
Hold on, we gotta talk about Rasuka's final scene, where she tries to blow up
Kyo, hold on.
But the computer decides...
He also doesn't just...
But the computer the computer that's modeled after her mother decides that it loves Gendo more than her, and refuses to explode.
We're really just glossing over this.
So then, Gendo shoots her, and then he sticks his hand in Rei.
Yeah, so I missed... Obviously, I don't think I picked up on who this lady was.
That's the scientist lady. The token scientist lady. The blonde lady. The token blonde scientist lady.
Yeah, she shows up later and hugs one of the scientists, the other people in like the command center.
Yeah, true.
Which is where we get our famous coach line that we discussed earlier.
What are you asking?
I don't know who this lady is.
She's the science lady. Of the show.
That's it?
You got the science lady, and you got the commander lady, Misato.
So why was she confronting
Gendo? Because she was also sleeping with Gendo. She was also sleeping with Gendo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she was spurned by him.
Wow, Gendo gets around,
yeah.
Huh? Slings it.
And some fans think that he was also sleeping with Rei. I don't know. I don't want to think about that.
Based on his behavior in that scene we were glossing over, I think so.
Well, he was completely like stoic and unemotional.
Stoic is not the word I would use for it. Stone-faced, maybe.
I don't think there was a pragmatic reason to grope her breast as he put his hand in her chest.
Flesh melts with her.
He cupped his hand over the breast. If he was just trying to stick his hand in, he would have done it fingers first.
Yeah, he's paused there for a moment too before passing.
It does feel like there was like a pause and like an eye contact moment, and then he like
maybe,
and much like the hand sucker punch earlier that we've discussed at length. It's really bad when he puts his hand on her breast, and you're like, "Wow, this is pretty bad. It's gonna get worse." But it does, because he drags his hand down, she gasps, and then the scene cuts.
Cut to Shinji screaming. We cut back to Rei. Rei hears Shinji screaming psychically. They're like, oh, Shinji. And so she rips, basically severs Gendo's hand.
Oh, because Shinji's witnessing Asuka's
So Shinji
corpse.
really just leads to his dad's own death here?
What?
Well, I guess he doesn't die here, but Shinji just leads to his dad losing an arm right now.
Oh, no. I mean, Rei says it herself. She's not a puppet.
So she was already going to betray him, regardless.
Well, I don't know if she's betraying so much as he's pulling some bullshit.
It seems like she's on autopilot at that point because this is the third clone. And she's basically kind of in a haze because she had some memories imported into her. And she's only been alive for 3 days.
I did think it was lame how the show had an important, powerful female, and with her powers, she chose to just be extremely subservient to Shinji Ikari, of all people. I do wish Rei had some more agency instead of zero agency in this movie, is all I guess I mean.
I mean, she does choose to merge with this angel and and bring about the end of the world.
No, that's not an angel, that's Lilith.
Well, she doesn't really bring about the end of the world so much as she brings about the ability for Shinji to determine the course of the world. Like, she's not even doing anything in that. She's just becoming powerful enough to carry out Shinji's will.
Oh, because I thought Shinji became part of the singularity for a bit.
Okay, so what happens is...
Sorry, but what is it, instrumentality?
What sort of happens?
This movie rips.
Yeah, we get the giant naked Rei. Shinji screams at this.
Come on, who wouldn't?
A giant naked Kaoru pops out of her. I don't know if that's a real Kaoru or not, because a lot of weird metaphysical stuff has gone on up to this point.
Well, it plays out a lot like the other people in the movie freaking out until they saw their loved ones.
Yeah. Well, no. First, for this part, once he opens himself up to the giant naked Kaoru, then we get the scene at the playground. The fade to the scene at the playground.
Yeah, the playground that's shaped like a naked woman's body where he's playing right where the legs meet.
There is also a double imagery because it sort of looks like a bald old man's face. And this point in his life, he was sent off to a relative to raise him.
Wow.
We don't know much, but it's an elderly guy. And obviously, Shinji did not form any meaningful relationships during that period in his life, which is the scene. But anyways, we get Shinji on the playground playing with these bug-eyed girls. A toddler Shinji with these bug-eyed toddler girls who get called off by their mom, who suspiciously looks like Misato. So Shinji's alone, crying and making a sandcastle in the shape of a pyramid. Meanwhile, the sun is setting between these two perfectly round set hills.
Oh, and he's only making the sandcastle because people told him to do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And then he destroys it in a fit of fury, then starts building it up again as the sun sets and the swing stops moving.
Well, also, he builds the sandcastle over what used to look like the lady parts.
Yeah.
And as the swing swings, there's clearly boobs in the distant background.
This could also be an allegory for when his mom died and he was sent away.
I read it as an allegory for him wanting to return. I guess that does sound... That is a very good read. I just thought it was birth in general, like wanting to return to his own birth or beginning. But your read is more specific, so it's better.
Yeah, well, you gotta count for him making the sandcastle. He's clearly that's clearly an important aspect of the imagery.
I don't know if I disagree with Geo's read though, because if you think about it, he's been spending the whole series inside a robot that's his mom.
Yeah.
So I guess he does sort of want to do that.
That's kind of Oedipal, too.
Some would say so.
I mean, he does insert into it in a large cylindrical piston get in the mech. Swanson.
As opposed to the Gundam, which is like the replacement father for Amuro.
Right.
Because Amuro's dad immediately dies after he gets in it.
Whoa. So you're saying the difference between... what we're saying here is the difference between Gundam and Evangelion is dad and mommy issues.
Well, also in Charge Counterattack, the new Gundam is basically like Amuro and Chan's child. The scene where they launch for the moon is basically a birth allegory.
Yeah,
they're going down the little thing, and Chan is grunting in agony and passes out. You want to take a bathroom break? We can do a word.
Yeah, bathroom break. You guys keep the tape rolling, right?
Sure.
Right. Yeah, tape
rolling. All right,
rolling.
I'll see if I can find that. I'll find that infamous interview between Hideaki Anno and Yoshiki Tomino about Charge Counterattack.
I'm gonna go pee.
Have fun.
No, Keo, you're taking furious notes, right? You're writing all this down.
So in 1994, they published a fan book for Charge Counterattack, which featured an interview between Yoshiki Tomino, director of Gundam, and Hideaki Anno, who was famous at this point for making Gunbuster. And Evangelion would come out 2 years afterwards. And had some great statements about them. Anno talking about his love of Charge Counterattack. To quote Anno, "If I was going to put it into admittedly grandiose terms, parentheses, very seriously, parentheses, I consider a Charge Counterattack a cultural heirloom for future generations." Tomino replied to that with a
Stair
wow.
said strong agree.
Speaking as a creator, on the contrary, I don't think it's that big a deal.
That's good. That's good humility right there.
There's also them bonding on shitting on Hayao Miyazaki. I know. Oh, I'm critical of Porco Rosso myself. Tomino, what was wrong with Porco? I know. As a picture, nothing. But because I know Miyazaki-san personally, I can't view it objectively. His presence in the film is too conspicuous. It's no good. It feels like he's showing off. Tomino, how so? I know. He has his main character act all self-deprecating, calling himself a pig. The character, in fact, is a pig in the movie. Just a little note from Stairmaster, if you haven't seen Porco Rosso. I know, but then puts him in a bright red plane, has him smoking all cool-like, and even creates a love triangle between a cute young thing and a sexy older lady. Tomino, I see what you mean. He and I are around the same age, though, so I get how he feels unconditionally. So I may think, oh boy, but I can't say mad at him. Laughter. Oh, good, you're back. I don't need to talk about the part where he's talking about underpants.
Oh.
Saved by the Geo.
You can.
That's more Porco Rosso talk.
Oh, Porco Rosso.
Oh, here's another choice quote from Anno, the director of this film. Yes, I agree. I don't like it when people try to obscure themselves like that. If you're going to wave your dick around, wave it all around. If you don't have the guts to do it, then wear the best clothing you can.
I mean, that's
also on on the Miyazaki film Porco Rosso.
That's tall talk for someone with very self-obscured work.
I would not say this is... I would not say End of Evangelion is obscured in any way. That's more... That's like saying a sledgehammer is obscured.
Fair enough. I mean, but also at the same time, I think Keo and Swanson have no idea what happened, so it is kind of fucking absurd.
I have some thoughts about what happened, but
yeah,
are they right?
Swanson, I didn't hurt you like that. You got it so far, Swanson. Swanson's honestly talking the Evangelion shop. You can learn a lot from him, Kia. He's picking it up.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
So, anyways, he smashes the sand castle. You know what happens next? Is this where he's on the train, Takidasuka?
I don't want to interrupt Stair too for a second, just because I want to comment. This is sort of like a good key difference between Keo and I, which is that Keo will watch something and he'll be like, "Yeah, I don't know what that's all about," and he'll move on with his life. And I'll watch something and I'll be like, "I don't know what that's all about. I need to find out what it's about."
Oh yeah, no, this film haunts my dreams, even a decade later.
I honestly think it's ultimately more beautiful than haunting.
Well, not when you're dreaming about it.
Wow, dude, don't you get it, Stair? I'm Willem Dafoe and you're the other guy, and Swanson is our Charlie Sheen.
Oh, I'm, fuck. Wait, was Charlie Sheen in Last Temptation of Christ? I don't think so.
No, this is he's talking about Wall Street.
I was talking about Platoon, dude.
Oh.
We are the dual fathers of Swanson's soul.
I know you're talking about Platoon.
I was
just thinking of a funnier version of what the funniest Oliver Stone movie I could have said was.
Look,
Chef.
You're Willem Dafoe, I'm Harvey Keitel, and Swanson is David Bowie.
I'm JFK, you're Lee Harvey Oswald, and
you never saw Last Temptation of Christ?
No,
No, David Bowie plays Pontius Pilate.
Wow. Is it a good movie?
Yes.
I think it's one of Stair's favorite movies now.
Really? Let me see if
the
it's
way
on
he
4K
discusses it and talks about it.
I think Filmprint just did a release of Scorsese's religious movies.
Hold on, let me look at Stair's letterbox. I think it's in his 4 favorites.
$60. Get wrecked, Stairmaster.
You get wrecked. Because you're not being spiritually
enriched. Yes, it's confirmed. The Last Temptation of Christ is one of Stair's top 4 movies.
Oh no, I'm not watching it on DVD. Are you kidding me? Alright, keep going, boys.
Well, no, Filmprint did a release of Last Temptation, Kundun, and Silence. You could get that if you're interested.
I might, if it's $10. Let's go.
Is Kundun good?
Michael from The Sopranos liked it.
Oh, like
Christopher from The Sopranos. Michael's the actor.
Michael Imperioli, yes.
Yeah.
All right, good enough for me. I just feel like everything. Listen, this isn't a Scorsese cast. Let's save it for another day.
Oh no, let's talk about it right now.
There's a period of time between Casino and sometime after The Departed, where Scorsese's making good movies but not great movies.
Okay.
And I think Kundun falls in that category, but I might be wrong.
I think Kundun. Well, I've never seen Kundun,
but
it was kind of was a victim of the times because it was about the Tibet stuff right when the Chinese movie market started opening up big time to the West.
Swanson, can I tell you my darkest, deepest Scorsese take?
That you've only seen Taxi Driver?
No, he's only seen The Color of Money.
I can only share it this deep in the ep where everybody is tuned out apart from our very best friends. Yeah. Here it is, man. I saw King of Comedy before the Joker even existed in any reason. So I had a very clear view of King of Comedy. Because if you're watching that movie in a post-Joker world, you're like, I heard Joker took me. No, I watched King of Comedy.
Yeah, I did not see King of Comedy until after Joker, so.
I thought it was pretty mid TBH back then.
Wow.
And then I thought Joker was pretty dank TBH. So the Joker is actually better than King of Comedy.
You know what's better than both of those movies?
You're able to truly approach it from objective.
The one he made immediately after it, After Hours. That's a good movie right there.
Ooh, I haven't seen that.
Highly recommend After Hours. That's a good Scorsese. Literally anything Scorsese made in the 80s, I think, is pretty good to watch.
Is that better than Char's?
Oh, I don't know about all that.
When you think about it, Char's Counterattack is sort of like Last Temptation of Christ. I think they would make it. So? I would unironically think they make a good double feature.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, anyways, we get Shinji talking to Asuka. It kind of jumps. Oh, we get Shinji watching Misato have sex while having a dialogue with Asuka.
But is he actually having a dialogue with Asuka, or is that his self-brain?
I think it might be his self-brain, since this is before instrumentality actually happens.
Whoa. It is before?
Or maybe Rei is channeling the spirit of Asuka. Or maybe Rei is just pantomiming as Asuka. Who knows?
So it absolutely is before instrumentality. So is this just like an episode Shinji's having in his mech?
Well, whoever this Asuka is, she is spitting some facts, I think. What she's saying is true.
What's she saying in this?
This is the part where she talks about how he doesn't really care about her. He's just trying to use her for validation. he never made the effort to connect with him or Ray, and also where he's watching Misato have sex.
Oh yeah,
and that's that's a part of her.
Yeah, who's she having sex with?
I think it's supposed to be Kaiji.
Kaiji
isn't in this movie because he's dead. Been dead for 12 episodes.
Like
no, not that Kaiji.
Kaiji.
Oh, okay.
I love that guy.
Man,
no,
good on
not
him.
that Kaiji.
It's about time he finally won.
Imagine if Kaiji was just kind of inexplicably in Evangelion.
Kaiji was already made at this point, so I mean,
as a part of Nerve for some reason.
Listen, I think Kaiji's no. Kaiji Ultimate Survivor was a gambling manga that started in 1998, I think.
Oh, okay. So maybe a little too late. Okay, so it's a different guy. Okay, so it's just some guy who's not in this.
Her cool spy boyfriend who she was fucking since high school.
And Shinji just knows they did it?
Yes.
Okay.
Even though instrumentality hasn't happened yet?
Oh yeah, he can make deductions.
Well, so this meant lend credence to my theory that he's already part of the instrumentality.
Yeah, I think so. And also, what's with Misato's voiceover being like, yeah, I bet you didn't think this part of me existed. And it's like, what part of you? The part of enjoying consensual sex?
The part that she has to have sex to validate herself.
I mean, you could take it...
Because her...
that's not inherent?
What do you mean?
Well, Shinji's a teenage boy, so he might not be able to think of a woman outside of what he thinks.
I don't know, man. Keep bringing us through instrumentality, though. Now Swanson's leading the show.
It's sort of like walking in on your parents having sex.
But it's not.
But also, I mean, Misato does have some issues with validation and forming relationships because she was at second impact and her dad stuffed her in a cryogenic pod right before getting wiped off the face of the earth by second impact.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
I think she spent a couple years mute afterwards.
Sounds no good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is where she's talking to Asuka.
Was second impact the first attempt at instrumentality?
I think it was like a controlled burn where they tried to cut an atom down to size, so he wouldn't interfere with the actual instrumentality.
Oh, okay. But then Adam sort of exploded into the
angels,
or whatever.
Because his whole their whole thing is seeding the planet with life.
Real quick, let's just do a Kyo check-in.
Hi, Kyo.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on, and I'm upset.
Kyo is sweating.
Look, I'm just listening and taking in the lore, but I'm also deeply troubled.
At some point, the scene sort of morphs over to this domestic situation where they're like a married couple.
Yeah, where they seem to be living in a house that Geo pointed out some weird facets to this house that I thought were interesting.
It's got like this weird robot soap dispenser over the sink.
It's got tubes coming into it, tubes coming out of it.
Yeah. Also, the coffee machine is on the table, not near any outlets.
In the middle of the room.
Yeah, that would make sort of sense in a Japanese apartment because they're not very, spacious, but...
Yeah. Also, the coffee cups are far away from the coffee machine.
Well, yeah, because they're drinking away from the machine.
But they're not. They're also far away from them.
Well, also the cups are mostly empty. But anyway, so Shinji's basically begging Asuka to pay attention to him. Asuka gets fed up with the shit, pushes him to the ground. Shinji spills boiling coffee on himself. Shinji's like, please help me. While destroying the furniture in a fit of rage. And Asuka's like, no.
Just do some breathing exercises and chill out, Shinji.
And then Shinji strangles Asuka. It's like,
man.
And this is basically where he's like, I should be dead. I wish no one was around. And
that's terrible how he's strangled. But also, Stairmaster, might I point out, the second he reaches up to strangle Asuka, you get a detail shot of his fingers digging really nasty into her neck. Mm-hmm. And then the happiest music kicks in.
Well, yeah, this is where
the happiest music kicks in.
Yeah, he declares that he wants to die. Instrumentality starts. We get the montage of people being turned into goo, where the rays will turn into people's loved ones. If they have one.
It's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Some people don't have any, so they just get brute forced by a bunch of rays.
Is that happening
globally? A lot of goo in this
one.
I
think so.
Well, if that's really happening, then
yes.
Because when they pan out to show the just terrible blood holocaust taking over the earth, there's terrible screams, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, a quarter of Japan got wiped out before instrumentality even started. Shinji getting crucified caused a huge explosion. that basically
Really?
wiped out the center of Japan and left a huge crater. Exposed. Yeah.
Please talk more.
Yeah, that's when the soldier's like, oh, we've lost. And then there's a huge explosion. And that reveals this... Yeah?
Yeah, they all become one.
Are people still in Nerve doing shit?
Yeah, because it's a bunker. It's a weird space pyramid.
So...
That sounds like a pretty big explosion.
Yeah.
So do you believe... I don't know if the show really states it one way or the other, Stair, but does Shinji become part of this instrumentality before he rejects it? Or is he just never a part of it?
So, yeah, basically all the soul... Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's a part of it.
Yeah, everyone is.
Yeah, everyone's old.
Said.
There's no boundaries between people anymore. That's why they turned to goo.
I assume that he was part of it. That's why we got the whole sequence where
it's like that episode of Ed, Ed and Eddie where
all these
Jimmy
phrases
loses his
and
outline, so he just spills, and they got to keep. Yes.
Yeah, that's why we're getting all these phrases and like different animations piled on top of each other.
Yeah, basically he's living the entire gamut of human relations all at once.
Wow.
Which is relayed like every possible
breakup let me
line.
tell you that this is where the 1.5 speed was really making me feel some stuff.
Oh, are we talking about the very fast sequence of changing images right now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you guys. So last night I tried really hard to look at it and not look away, even though I'm not epileptic or anything. Like, it was building a strange headache in my head that got bigger and bigger. Like, it was very discomforting to look at. And in the first half of it, I started seeing Sonic and Tails. Did you guys see it? I feel like there was 8 frames of Sonic and Tails peppered in there.
Well, this film, the production was sponsored by Sega.
I don't think I saw any Sonic and Tails, but I haven't.
Logos at the start. No, it's true. Sega is on the production committee for this movie and was on the production committee for the show. One of Asuka's class friends has a Sega Saturn in her house, despite the show being set in 2015.
So it's
I did not see.
Sonic in it, is what you're saying?
Did not see Sonic and
Sega
Tails.
Saturns in this movie.
Did you see those frames of Sonic and Tails?
No, I did. I think I saw a naked woman.
Maybe see it again and give it a try. I didn't see it at the theater because imagine I had to read subtitles through this on a fucking big screen. But at home, I was just watching on it, dude, and I saw Sonic and Tails multiple times in the first half, right? And then that's like the first half of everything happening. And then it shifts into a very sexual mode pretty quickly. And like you start seeing in that same Sonic and Tails flash-facing way, just erotic imagery getting flashed across the screen, up to and including a drawing of a vulvaless vagina being spread open by feminine fingers.
Nice.
Which is a strange thing to draw, the vagina without the vulva. It's kind of misogynistic. It makes you think about, I don't know. But either way, it's there. It's there for seconds. That's on the movie in the theater. It's wild.
What do we think about all of the sequence starting with a bunch of crude drawings of dead animals?
With a what?
Doesn't it start with the children's...
it starts with a montage of the children's drawings of the fucked up shit, and then it becomes a blur of sexual stuff, as Geo mentioned, and Sonic and Tails.
What were the other things depicted in those drawings?
I don't remember. There's so much going on.
It reminded me of The Cure. Like The Cure have an album cover kind of like that.
And so this is where we get the live action segment.
Oh, so Shinji's just really a big fan of The Cure, is what I'm getting.
He would be.
Yeah, he would.
And I think the live section shots were beautiful. I really dug those like panning shots over like a mid-sized Japanese city, right?
Yeah. And we get the shots of the theater goers. Did you catch the guy flipping off the camera?
I did, yes.
Not. Yeah.
That was actually it was.
It's after they stopped doing the. Yeah, he does it like several times in a row.
It's when it pans back to the left at the end, near the end of it.
It's when it stops doing the like pitch. It stops overlapping two separate images.
Yeah.
Of a theater,
like it's
so
near right before the theater turns empty.
Yeah, he's doing a cool guy flip off where he's pointing the middle finger down at the ground. Oh yeah, this wasn't on the rip I had for some reason, but did you guys see the letters from the fans?
A little bit, but I think they were like in Japanese.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I did see letters on the... I saw it on my TV, at least on the Netflix version. I didn't see a single fucking image when I had to read subtitles.
Like, for a long time, the Western community thought those was all hate mails. But most of them are very uplifting. One of them talks about how the show helped them with their suicidal depression.
Wow.
Only one of them is like an actual hate mail, I think. Or a death threat.
Totally. Because that's totally how it's pitched. I know exactly what you mean. Like, oh, they show a bunch of hate mail. That's wonderful. It's mostly good stuff.
Yeah, for some reason, for a long time, people thought that Anno hated anime fans, even though he's like the biggest anime nerd. So anyways, Shinji talks about whether it's real or not. We get into like some Hegelian stuff about how it's both the reality and the dream, and you need both to survive.
Well, I think it's saying that instrumentality is the dream, right? And how when you're dreaming, there's people in your dreams, but there's not really other people.
Yeah.
Right, Kia?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that analysis, and I think that...
Now, Kia, when it got to this sort of experimental psychedelic state at the end here, what were you thinking? What were your thoughts?
I was thinking like, ooh, pretty pictures, ooh...
No, Kyo, did you see the spread open vulvaless vagina?
Yeah, I saw it. It was there. I was like, hey.
Yeah, it was there.
Can you confirm there was no vulva?
I was like, but what does it mean?
Yeah, can you confirm there's no vulva? I didn't go back to
I just want a second. I just want to, independently verify this.
I think that there was that the anatomy was not particularly defined there, so
someone needs to go to class again, is what Kyo's saying.
Yeah, like they took the anatomy class and they didn't pass that part of the female anatomy, and they just kind of had to wing it when they're animating this.
Well, you're not allowed to. You have to censor any portrayal of genitals in Japan. Yeah.
Really? That's why?
Yeah, because when MacArthur came in to govern Japan during the occupation,
I seem to recall some Dragon Ball episodes where Goku's hog is out.
No,
that's different because it's just a little half oval with an 8.
Yeah, you're allowed to depict tiny male genitals. It's in like a little tiny drawing. You can do that. That's allowed, but basically nothing else is.
Yeah, because so in porn, the penis is they gotta like put a bar over the foreskin.
Right. So they also
and they have a bar over the mosaic over the pussy. Because MacArthur
that was a great
sometimes it's both.
That was a great Eagles album.
Even right there. That way.
Later day Eagles, wonderful. But still good.
So anyways, we...
Hey, Joe Walsh, come look at this porn.
So anyways, then we go to the goop dimension. Shinji's lying in goop.
Yeah, goop
Ray's literally melded with him while straddling him.
Yeah.
She explains the metaphysics of this.
Wait, did you say while straddling him? Yeah, in a very sexual way.
Except they're also merged together, so they can't actually have sex. Kind of the message of this movie. That you need these barriers between people to have meaning.
Doesn't she essentially just say, like, this is pretty much what you wanted,
that these barriers between people create... And Shinji's like, oh, fuck. I fucked up.
Shinji's like, oh, no. Oh, this isn't what I wanted at all.
You get that shot of... Well, the Earth was going to be fucked up anyways. Probably would have been worse if the Illuminati had gotten their way. Who knows? He could have made any decision.
The Illuminati doesn't get their way? I thought they wanted this.
No, they wanted it. Well, I think they wanted a more self-centered way. But they weren't in, like, the driver's seat.
Instrumentality for thee, but not for... Or instrumentality for me, but not for thee is what they want.
Could they have done this differently? And the outcome would have...
Like, shit.
Like, do they want to handpick who gets to go? Or, like, what do you mean?
Who knows? We barely get any time with those guys in the council, so they're not even
shown except for one dude.
All we know is they're obsessed with immortality. Yeah. Immortality is shown when they turn to goop and they have huge cybernetic entrails left behind. Yeah.
Whoa, that's what that showed?
Yeah.
So, implying they were old as fuck? Oh, man. I just thought it was yucky gore.
Anyway, so we get the shot of Shinji pulling Ray's hand out of him so he can actually hold it instead of having it be a part of him. And at this point, giant naked Ray in space's throat gets slit. And the whole thing starts to unravel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that mean? Can you explain that?
Well, that means That means she's dying, I think.
Does Shinji kill her?
I don't really fucking know. The point is Shinji rejects this and decides to keep. I'll get into what my interpretation of this is as a whole in a second.
Okay.
Shinji rejects it. Eva Unit 1 rips its way out of the egg.
Yeah,
neck
so she rips
first.
its way out, and then its neck
then
explodes,
Shinji
right?
has its. Yeah, then the Eva 1 pops out. Then the neck. Okay, so the neck explode when he expresses his first doubts. Then shit goes haywire once he finally rejects it.
So what about all those crucifix crosses that float up into space with the Eva and float away?
Rips its way out of the leg. Giant naked Rei falls apart. Shinji talks to Rei and Kaoru, and then his mom.
Oh, really? Wait, no, but then how can people crawl out of it to get back in shore?
I think those are the people who chose to stay in the goop.
You can just not go?
They have to make the decision right now. It was my understanding that in the end of the movie, people can
they
crawl
gotta
out
choose.
of that
That's all
ocean
that
from
Rei
now on.
says. They have to make the decision. They don't explain how.
Yeah, so if they're floating off into space, how could they crawl out of the ocean?
I don't think she implies a time limit.
So basically...
Whoa.
Yeah. Because their bodies are still on Earth, I guess.
So there could just be a sea of, consciousness that's, half of the population.
Oh, yeah, the ocean is basically the goop at this point.
So, if half the population decides, we're staying in the goop, then it just becomes, a sea of half of the former population of Earth.
Or maybe they're inside Eva Unit 1, because Shinji's mom does talk about how Unit 1 is going to be the ark that'll outlive the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun.
Listen, we've been casting for a while.
And then we get the point about how anywhere can be paradise as long as you're alive.
Beautiful shots.
As long as you're alive, things will be alright. And then we got one more final, where Shinji's lying on the beach. He's apparently been there the entire planet's fucked up. There's a ring of blood orbiting the Earth. Half of Rei's head is in the ocean, staring at him perpetually. Shinji might have been there for some time, since Misato's cross is on a little plank of wood nailed to it.
Wait, she splashes out.
He looks at the sea and he sees Rei for a second.
She materialized. It seemed to me.
Asuka splashes down next to him.
He woke up and Asuka was next to him, which kind of conflicts with the crucifix imagery.
Okay. Materialize. Same thing.
Yeah.
That's what I thought happened.
Yeah, I guess he was just napping on the beach, maybe. Because I think he's been there. I think he's been on the beach for a while. Because that's what the cross signifies, being on the plank of wood. I don't know. It's not that kind of movie.
He sees another person, he's like, oh shit, is this real? And then he strangles her.
Well, again, this is bookended with the first scene of the movie where he's desperate for any reaction from Asuka as a form of validation. And he gets it this time. Asuka puts his hand on his cheek. He lets go, starts crying. Asuka calls him pathetic, and the movie just ends right there and then.
Doesn't she say, I feel sick at some point?
Yeah. The word she uses is a metaphor for morning sickness in Japanese. A euphemism, I believe.
Yeah, it's better than...
Yeah. But that doesn't mean she's literally pregnant, it's just an allegory. And also, this is based off an incident that one of Anno's female friends went through. She got strangled. It got the guy to stop by putting her hand on his cheek. Yeah.
Oh, so the whole movie wasn't based off of the one.
Well,
she didn't go through this whole thing?
No.
Okay.
No. This is more about Anno's personal experience with depression.
So, this is better.
That's a movie.
This is a situation where the sub is better than the dub, because I feel sick, I feel like works better as a last line than the dub, which is disgusting.
Well, that's also what my subs translated it as.
I feel like there's more thematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the theater lights just cut out or come on. They stay dark in my theater,
that's the end
and
of
the movie just
Evangelion.
ends and there's nothing else.
There's no credits. They were in the middle of the movie, remember?
Yeah.
It's just...
Keo, when this ended, what did you think of the end here? The very end?
Was instrumentality over, or what?
Well, my interpretation is that Shinji and Asuka left
Why do you think Asuka
instrumentality.
left?
But the cross on the wood means that Misato's still there. And clearly there's a ton of other people who are still there. Because she's
It all dovetails in so nicely.
Yeah, I think you said it best earlier, like an hour ago. When you're talking about how, she really can't bond with anyone. Because she's...
So he left instrumentality, but where was he? What is that location?
He was on the beach. Okay, so here's what my read of the entire film is.
Okay.
Instrumentality it's basically a metaphor for a suicide attempt. It's a huge mess. You just fuck everything up in the hopes of this escape. But then you realize the escape isn't really meaningful in any way. So you decide that you're going to try and fix yourself. And that scene on the beach is the moment after where you realize the enormity of the task before you. Because you're still your fucked up self. Even if you're a little bit wiser, you still have a lot of work to do.
That's a great place to end it.